difference because all the economic energy is closer in a single trading thing. And then it also has 22% of the fees getting burnt. And it has a lower fee than Uniswap. It's 0.29% instead of 0.30. What else? And it gives you an extra incentive token to be a yield, a liquidity provider earning yield and earning this extra token as well. And so it's more efficient from a market perspective because it centralizes liquidity. It also protects the value of the Pulse Chain brand because, oh, let's say you don't like me, you don't like Pulse Chain, you don't like something, and you want to remove your coins and remove your liquidity. I got bad news for you. It's already been removed. You can't. So you can't stop the game from being played. So you take a system like Chainlink, right? They run oracles or whatever. Whether the Chainlink guys want to actually use Pulse Chain or not, or issue oracles on it or not, don't really care that much, to tell you the truth, because we got the ticker, we got the logo, and the prices are going to be bonded by the liquidity. And so, if you, as a person that wants to trade, you could trade the link ticker on Ethereum and pay $50 to buy and $50 to sell because of gas fees, and the price is probably less volatile because it's probably a more liquid market. Or you could trade on a less liquid market that has more profit potential because there is more volatility, and you've got not $50 in, not $50 out. It's just a very compelling use case. It's super compelling. So it adds longevity to the ecosystem. It creates capital efficiency, and I think the value of all the Pulse chain in the beginning, before you get direct listings, is going to be in people bridging stable coin value and ERC20 value in and pairing it with its PRC20 copies. And so in the beginning, I think the majority of value is going to accrue through bridges. So, and then having PulseX be able to reward people in addition, not only just the fees of pairing their free PRC20s with their ERC20s, which, by the way, when have you got the other side of the pair for free? I don't think I've ever seen that before in my life, where as a liquidity provider, you get to play with the other side for free. And there's probably less volatility because they're so similar to each other. So it's like, I think it's awesome. It's one of the killer features. So being able to on-ramp users with a single button click in MetaMask, awesome. And being able to back the value of the PRC20s with bridge and ERC20s in a yield farming program is just awesome. Like, they really well-designed systems.
Richard, I have a follow-up question from the Hex community directly, because you have seen the sacrifice rate for PulseX was so great, so many people sacrificed. For Pulse, a little bit less. So this brings us to the following problem. A lot of people sacrifice for PulseX, but they do not have Pulse chain yet. So the question from the Hex community will be, Richard, what is your opinion? What would be a good ratio to hold on Pulse chain and Pulse coin?
Well, I mean, I really don't know, but I'll try and throw guesses at you. So, I mean, if you looked at the sacrifice balances during the ranked sacrifice phase and you compared their like net US dollar kind of sacrifice equivalents and then divided it by the supply, I think you could end up with like a ratio from that perspective to have as like a starting ratio, but the starting ratio doesn't last very long. What really is going to set the ratio of Pulse to PulseX is people actually trading it. And so you're going to be able to, before the bridge is open, you're going to be able to open Pulse. You're going to be able to trade Pulse versus PulseX. And you can see this on the testnet right now. Like, you can go trade your testnet Pulse versus your testnet PulseX right now on testnet and experiment it and get ready for it. So, I don't know what the market's going to set the ratios at. And my guess for what like a reasonable starting ratio would be just kind of like the sacrifice values or whatever, but it's just pulled out of my butt. Like, it just seems like an okay ratio, because where else would you set it? I don't know,
Thank you, Richard. I will give it to you back.
Hello, Richard. How are you doing? My name is Carlos. I just learned about Hex today. I'm very excited. My question has to do as a business owner. What are some of the ways that I can do to integrate this in my community and to my player?
It's an interesting question. I have a unique perspective on this. I love that it's hard to spend Hex. I'm glad you can't buy Rolexes with Hex, because if you could, there's probably some Hexicans that would hurt the Hex price to go buy watches, which is as nice as they are, they're not going to appreciate long term as much, in my opinion. So, or at least they haven't. I mean, Rolexes didn't go up 1,000,000%. Hex did. So I like it when people can't use the things I invent to actually buy stuff, because it introduces extra sell pressure, in my opinion. Now, there are some exceptions to that. If you had something that generated excess purchasing pressure and holding pressure because it was accepted, then that would be an exception. But I think a great example of showing you how powerful not being able to actually use the stuff as cash. You can't use Bitcoin many places. Price went up 690 million%. Seemed to have worked out okay. So, another thing is the velocity of money is indirectly proportional to the value of the money. And so if you can accept it more places, it increases the velocity. And if the economic math, which is considered to be true, is true, then it reduces value. So if whatever you're doing causes the people to buy and hold, that's extremely valuable. If what you're doing causes people to just sell, it's not valuable. And so that's the rubric by which I would really decide whether it would be helpful to the community to integrate accepting that into your business or not. It might be, it might work out. It really matters whether it's more net buying or not. You know, if you're advertising to people that have never seen Hex before, it's probably net buying. If you're advertising it to Hexicans, it's probably net selling.
In terms of educating, I run a youth baseball league, and a lot of my players, they're starting to know about it and learn about crypto,
Nice.
and talking about it.
Mhm.
In terms of educating them and making it accessible, what are some of the ways that I can do to,
I mean, to tell you the truth,
bring
it's
it
like, what is crypto? It's a big Excel spreadsheet that lives on the internet and inflates about 2% a year to keep it honest. In my new pulse chain system, it doesn't inflate at all. And then if you buy it and the price goes up, you get rich. If you buy it and the price goes down, you lose money. And then, like, what else is there? Don't give away your seed words to anybody. Okay. And then that's really like it. Like, you could pretend that you're learning a lot, or you could actually even learn a lot. And then in reality, what did you really achieve? Right. Like, you still can't write your own code. You're still using the same wallet. You're still buying and selling on the same exchange. Like, you really didn't. The parameters which affect your profit as a speculator, they don't really change with how much you know about the network or how much you know about blockchains and latency. And like, you buy it, you hold it, you hope it goes up. Don't buy scams. Don't get scammed. Don't give away your seed words. These are the parts that actually matter. These are the parts that affect your bottom line. You know, um, and everything else is just kind of like, it's like photography. Most photographers take bad pictures, and then you're like, but they know all about the gear. They know how many megapixels, they know how many stops of light absorption, they know all their focal ratios, but they don't know about framing and they don't know about lighting. And then those are the things that matter more. Like, composition and lighting matter more than your hardware. And a good photographer will do better with a cell phone camera than a bad photographer will do with a $10,000 Sony A1. So, blockchain is kind of similar. It's like, hey, you know more about the mechanics underneath. Great. Did you buy earlier at a better price? No, they're unrelated, So I hope that answers you.
Okay.
Nice hat.
I want being part of the Mexican community, my brother and I, really, for this next event that's coming to Vegas in September 6th to the 9th, what do we need to do to bring you out to Vegas?
I'm not going. I would rather build stuff, bro. I hate traveling. I hate it. The reason you see me doing the same stream forever on the same chair is because it's efficient. When I travel, my productivity gets wrecked. It sucks a lot. So I want to change the world. I want to make everything better. And I would much rather use this amazing production quality with 8K camera if I stick a fan on it, 4K currently, even though I can only stream to you guys at 1080 for some reason because software limits. Like, my production value is amazing. There's no real reason that you have to come and sniff me or whatever. like I did that for several months last summer in Europe. You know, bought the Ferrari Roma, traveled to 15 different countries. I did it, and I'm not in a rush to do it again, man. I want to work. I want to actually work. You know, you get me virtually is what you're gonna get.
So one more thing, being a Hex again, I'd like to tip my hat.
Nice hat, bro.
For you, for the top hat. So all Hexkins, I would love if you guys start wearing it. Top hat for Richard Heart more. Okay.
Especially in Palestine.
Yeah,
So,
Miami's a great
we
spot for a
have-
top hat. I bet sweating to death.
So we got one last question here.
All right.
We're gonna bring Richard. You know, I'm a really good shitter, and right now I have the RA, the Hex RA.
Nice.
I cannot use too much because we have the next tour in a couple of months. So what we want to do, even to get together, is we want to auction out the RA to the Hex community.
Do it.
Would you support it? Make a shout out to the Hex community.
I would tweet it. If you want to sell your R8, I will tweet it for sure. Yeah. I mean, like Hexologist was showing off his stickers on his sport utility with his, you know, Hex.com best performing asset 2020, 2021, whatever. And I tweeted that. Like, if Hexicans do cool stuff, I like to tweet about it usually. I like your Hex wrapped R8. I think it looks cool.
Thanks. When you tweeted out the Hex workshop, it brought so much attention. So I hope we can do the same thing for you.
I hope you're able to 10x and 100x your attendees, because there's a lot of people attending crappier crap that they lose money on instead of make money. I hope you guys do well.
On the 1 million pulse tour next year, talking about pushing, we will have so many people because now we know what we're doing. We know exactly how everything works.
Good stuff. I appreciate you putting in the work. A German guy had to come to America to promote the things he appreciates. Americans learn.
And an Austrian too. He's yelling in Austrian too. So tomorrow, actually, we have more here at Crypto WorldCon. Can I invite you back tomorrow night to
if you want,
the same
sure.
thing and a whole new big group?
Yeah, sure.
Perfect.
Message me.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Richard.
My pleasure, guys. Thanks so much for having me. See you guys.
We're so excited about awesome and your next product. Thank you very much for coming.
See you later. Buddy, how's it going? Richard Heart here with the live. Look, it's real. It's not even a green screen. The actual Hexologist. You wouldn't believe it, but underneath this coat, he's a hunk of man. There's a lot of muscle in there. What's going on, everybody? We're here in London. We're here for the Hex 731 gathering. If you haven't bought your tickets, do so. I want it to look really good for this film crew. There's so much film crew there. There's like 5 red cameras and red carpet, Rolls Royce, just madness. So,
and Richard Heart.
I guess I'm there too. But hey,
it's gonna be amazing.
The film crew guys are like, you should, prepare your speech, And I'm like, I've never done that before.
You never prepared?
No, I've never done. No,
you don't really need
never.
to. Huh?
Well, they want me to, so I've never done it.
Okay.
But like, apparently I should.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. So, what do you want to talk about? No, you can run the. You can.
Okay.
This could be
So
your
yeah.
show.
So
I never noticed how nice this is, man. That's a good magenta.
Yeah,
right
this
there.
is Hex Toys. Put that up for me.
Man, that looks
really
awesome. I think your setup's better than mine. I'm dressed like some type of rock and roll clown. Or something.
That's right.
Like,
a doctor.
I know I'm not going to wear shorts to the main event. So I was like, hey, this thing's got shorts. So let's use that.
Yeah. Usually I wear shorts, so nobody can see my legs. So.
Exactly. It's
well,
better.
maybe I don't wear anything. Nobody would know.
Hey, something falls over behind you, and like, I gotta go fix this. I can't. I have to crawl,
Yeah, I'll be back.
crawl
I'll be
over
back
to
in a
it.
minute.
Yeah.
So, what? So about the 731 gathering,
Yeah.
are you? What are you most excited about for the
Well, the documentary.
documentary?
Yeah, because like I love things that have lasting value. So for me, I mean, I've done how many meetups when I was driving across Europe in the Ferrari, just
Right.
tons and tons and tons. You do them, and they're great. So people get some selfies, and then you're like back to square one.
Yeah.
You don't have any real lasting value out of it.
Then you get sick.
Well, yeah, I did get COVID out of the deal.
Yeah, at least that was.
Dropped some weight. I've been really hoping to lose that weight, and you know,
Hey, it did, when you came on screen, I was like, "Dang, dude, you're killing it."
I think I lost like 10 or 15 pounds in the 2
Jeez.
weeks. I was just eating nothing, sitting there in bed. Now I have earring, like it's just the left
Really?
ear rings. Let me listen. Yeah, but it's almost equalized with the ring I'm used to over here. So
Okay, so
it's like it's getting better.
balanced itself out.
You just never notice it. I'm just like, I don't care. You know?
Yeah. After years, you won't even notice it.
Well, man, I owned a car stereo store for quite a few years, and I think that the SPL competitions don't really help the ears.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, oh, so these hairs never grow back?
Especially in Florida.
Let's hit them. Let's hit them. let's bang these little hairs as hard as we can.
Yeah, they have some pretty crazy. I'm guessing you've been in some pretty
Yeah.
crazy cars, right?
I think my truck would do 143.5 at the window,
Jeez.
which is like, I don't know,
Like
pretty
moving the
loud.
window, like
Oh yeah, all that stuff. Like you have to reseal all the windows. And
Wow.
like if someone stands in the opening to the vehicle, their hair will be like,
yeah, like you see on the movie or
Yeah.
on YouTube where the
YouTube, yeah.
girls are.
yep, just like
It's
that.
crazy.
So who knows? A lot of people get this that didn't own car stereo stores. It's whatever. My hearing still works better than most people's.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. Well, I've had guns go off by my head.
Oh, that's not good.
So, yeah, it's that's not good.
I remember Black Hawk Down where Twombly's running around like, what?
Yeah,
Huh?
oh, yeah, it's pretty much like that. Yeah, so I mean, so I guess we could talk about Pulse Swap. You want?
Yeah, go ahead.
So Pulse Swap, you announced it the other day on Twitter.
Yeah.
Going to be a new swapping token for Pulse,
Yeah.
correct? And
Yep.
it's going to be is it going to be a liquidity? Like, are you going to, for the liquidity farming, or
So-
is it going to get paid out in that, or how are you going to?
Well, both. So the way that I look at it is I want hexagons to do well, and I see hexagons getting targeted by coins, and then every time that's happened, they get victimized.
Right.
So, way back in the beginning of Hex, there's something called Hex Business. A bunch of people bought it and lost all their Hex.
Yep.
And then
it's
you're
really
like,
sad,
okay,
because there's
right.
lots of
And they were good hexagons.
yeah.
then
And
they
they
got
and they
nuked.
wanted to do the best for the community
Yep.
because they thought it was
Right.
promoting the community.
Yep. And then we've seen, so every time I see a coin come and target hexagons, it's like never audited code. It's never, it's just bad.
But they
right?
say they're going to audit it. They say they're going
Right.
Right.
So like the code, the Pulse Swap code, which it's not going to be called Pulse Swap because I discovered I didn't own the domain name.
Oh, really?
I thought I owned it. I
Okay.
thought I owned it. And I was like, yeah, Pulse Swap is going to be great. And then someone in chat is like, hey man, this looks available. I'm like, what?
So they bought it?
Well,
I
no,
think they bought it.
I searched my brain and I was like, I got PLS Swap, but I didn't get Pulse Swap because I think it was just like owned by like a normal, I think
Right.
it was owned for a long time by someone that just was like medical oriented
Right.
maybe. So I didn't register it. And then I thought I did because I got the PLS Swap. And then I was like, oh, darn. Well, I guess we'll name it something else. Or maybe the guy message the guy and see if he wants to accept something reasonable, but I don't like really
Right.
overpaying for stuff. Because I can name it anything. I can name it table lamp swap and it would do fine. It's like no one really cares. This is not, like all the other successful ones are named pancake, sushi,
Yeah, right. Yeah, you don't have to come
Uh,
up with anything creative.
Trader Joe's.
Yeah,
You're
you
like,
just look at
okay.
something.
You're like, you're like,
Trader
so the
Joe's.
trade that's on AVEX. Yeah. that
Oh,
one.
really?
Yeah. So
Oh,
everyone
okay.
everyone has a swapping, like a Uniswap V2 fork
Right.
that does yield farming. And then that's like Matic has quick swap, and BSC has pancake swap, and AVEX has Trader Joe's. And I think there's also sushi swap as well, which is on
Yeah.
Ethereum.
Yeah.
And so, tokenized yield farming for AMM liquidity pools is successful tokenomics on every single alternate EVM chain. And I believe that Pulse Swap or whatever it gets called is going to have that same kind of ability. And so basically the magic is this. so the intention is, I didn't really want to have another sacrifice phase, but if people are buying stuff called like Pulse anything.
Yeah.
And when they're buying all these other projects, and then I get asked what I have to do with this.
Right.
And the answer is nothing.
Right.
I don't have anything to do with
Right.
it. They just have the word Pulse in there. And then if those guys rug pull or get exploited is so common with all these other projects that have targeted hexagons, I don't think that's good for Pulse.
Right,
I don't
yeah.
think it's good for the hexagons.
Right.
And so, how can you save these people from themselves? Well, they got to be parted with their money,
Yeah.
or else they'll get screwed.
Right.
So now, from the perspective of like how good I think yield farming will be in this thing, we're going to have the world's largest airdrop, which means that you're getting a copy of your coins on Pulse that you already have on Ethereum,
Mm-hmm.
which means you're getting 1/2 the automated market pair for free.
Yeah.
Since it's Uniswap V2, you have to be symmetrical. You're going to put in, $100 of your ERC20 that you bridged in. You can put $100 of your PRC20,
Yep.
and you put them in the liquidity pool. When have you ever gotten half a liquidity pool for free?
Right.
It's
Yeah.
like never happened.
Yeah.
So from that and the fact of on-ramping new users, there's no AML, no KYC, no sign up. Your keys just work. You change one setting in MetaMask.
And
It's wildly
already
easy.
there. Right.
And we've already, by the way, people on Twitter are so stupid. They're like, oh, but there won't be a bridge at launch. You're like, bro, there's already a working testnet bridge from testnet Pulse to testnet Ethereum. The community set it up.
Right.
I didn't even have to do it. There's already a
They
working.
did.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And then we have a working Uniswap front end that the community built. And then we have, like the code for this fork of PancakeSwap, which is the basis by which, the Pulse Swap things we built or has been built already. That's also done.
Okay.
And so you're like, this is not pie in the sky, like it's done. And then when people talk smack about Pulse, they're like, oh, you delayed the launch for Pulse Swap. You're like, they're totally different dev teams that have nothing to do with each other. There's no blocking or locking or delay whatsoever.
Right.
This is just like hey, think about how awesome this is going to be. Okay, Pulse chain launches. What's the value of your PRC20? Well, what can you sell it for? If there's liquidity, you can sell it for a lot.
Yeah.
If there's no
Well, it's going to
liquidity,
start at zero.
you can't sell for anything.
Right.
Well,
Pulse?
yeah, everything's going to start at zero.
Yeah,
but as soon as one thing has a price, everything does, because everything trades versus everything else.
Right.
So like if anything on Pulse ends up getting a price, then because all those ratios are already set, then everything is going to be affected by whatever that first injection of liquidity is.
Right.
And I think I have a feeling that Hex is going to have high liquidity compared to, we don't know actually. If this Pulse Swap thing works the way that I hope it will, there will be a lot of liquidity everywhere.
Yeah.
Because like when you look at how people have yield farmed other tokens like this, hundreds of millions of dollars have been put in to that yield farming. Now in those systems, they're kind of like liquidity locusts. They put the hundreds of millions in to earn the token that was being issued to them, which would be like the Pulse Swap token, whatever it's called. But then they're like locusts. They move on as soon as that reward goes away.
Yep.
And so I think that it's smart to have a sacrifice phase, and then the thing kind of already has a value, and then the locusts don't need to get as much as they would have otherwise got, that they're just going to dump anyway and move on.
Right. So and then it makes them put up money.
Yeah, so maybe
they hold
maybe give them half. Like maybe you got to decide how much supply you want to give the liquidity locusts to inject the liquidity for the time frame.
Right.
And I haven't made that decision yet. So there are a couple parameters that are still like, how much of the liquidity locusts get, and what percentage of them are going to stick. And so I really need to look like historically, like, because this has been done over and over and over.
Yeah.
Like this idea of issuing a new token to reward people for being LPs. But so regardless of those particular little like decisions, The idea is you're backing up the value of all the PRC20s by the bridged in ERC20s, and then there's no dilution. Like the Ethereum holders got diluted by a million X.
Yeah.
But these ERC20 holders are not being diluted at all.
So
they're getting a one-to-one copy.
With that, since they're getting Ethereum liquidity, when it goes over there, when it goes to the PRC, is it that get it times it by 10,000? Like, you know, if you had 10,000 Ethereum on your liquidity, is it going to, you know, for you had 10,000 ETH against whatever?
No, because the only guys that got that those extra free pulse were the sacrificers. So if you're just a normal Ethereum holder,
right?
But
for the liquidity providers,
they're not getting.
Are they just gonna? They're not going to get it. But is it going to just so the liquidity is going to be very small for the pulse when it releases, and then so for all the Ethereum, let's say you had 10,000,
sure,
and then now you have 10,000 pulse, which is not very much.
Right.
I'm guessing it's not going to start out.
Right.
So it's going to not be
I'm
very
so lost. I have no idea what you're asking me.
Okay, so I'm a liquidity provider. Like,
where?
So
Where?
let's say Hex. You know,
no,
how
but
there's
like in which system? In the new
PRC.
Pulse Swap system? In Pulse Swap or in Uniswap?
Pulse.
Because Pulse Swap is going to be like Pulse Swap's new pairs, right?
Right.
But like Uniswap already has all these existing pairs, but you just don't get any. If you put your liquidity in Uniswap, you're not getting a yield farming token reward for doing so.
Okay.
You're just making money on fees.
Right.
But if you put your money on Pulse Swap, you're going to get money from fees and this extra yields farming token.
Right. No, I was talking about Pulse. Sorry. Yeah, I was going off.
So Pulse Swap.
No, just Pulse.
Okay.
So
Pulse
Pulse chain, when we fork it,
Yep.
let's say there's 100 Ethereum in the Hex,
Yes.
in the 1 million Hex and 100 Ethereum.
That's going to copy over.
But it's going to be 100
get harvested.
Pulse?
Well, it's going to get harvested by the bot to fix the ratios.
Okay.
There's a bot that comes in and goes, hey, all these ratios are wrong because there's 1 million times more Ethereum or Pulse than there used to be. And so we need to fix these ratios.
Okay.
So it's going to mint Pulse, give it to the mint Pulse, and basically buy the PRC20. And so it's harvesting the PRC20s. And so if you're a PRC20 holder in a liquidity pair, then you're going to get more Pulse and you're going to have less of your PRC20.
Okay.
And that's to make the ratios show that, hey, there's just a lot more Pulse. And, you know,
it balances it out.
Right. Much. So it goes and fixes all the ratios. And then now it has a bunch of PRC20s and Pulse, and then it can stick them in liquidity pools. And then the old holders can't pull liquidity. So let's say some project didn't like Pulse for some reason, and they wanted to pull their liquidity and stop people from trading that ticker over there. Sorry, guys, you got harvested on launch, and now you can't stop the game from being played.
Wow. So they'd have to do it before the fork.
Yeah, they would have
if
to.
they wanted, but then
they'd have to destroy. Yeah, they'd have to. They would have to rug pull. Right, they'd have to rug pull their own project and remove all the liquidity and stop all trading for launch.
Right. So genius.
It's a really good plan.
Yeah, because then it's like, no, you're coming with us.
Yeah, we're going to have your code and your ticker on this network, and you can't stop it from being traded.
Right.
And so there's a derivative, and then if there's liquidity bonding the prices together, so if, you know, let's say you have Chainlink on Ethereum, and then after launch, you know, price bounces around a while, but I bet that over time that these prices will move similarly.
Right.
I think that the Link ticker on Pulse chain is likely to move similarly to the Link ticker on Ethereum.
Just because of the bridge, right? And
well, because they're bonded by the liquidity.
Right.
And then it's the same code with the same ticker. Now, do you want to pay $100 or $300 to trade it on Ethereum, or do you want to pay a penny to trade it over here? And we already know this answer because they're doing it on other networks as well.
Yeah.
You know, people do trading on alternate networks, and then we're the one that you don't like. Your coins are already here. You don't even have to bridge over. You've already got your free coins here. You can already access them by changing one setting in your MetaMask. It's awesome. Like,
dude, it sounds
well.
It sounds pretty awesome.
Well, that's the trick. That's the magic. Is you launch this whole network
wait
of
to
all these
see
new
it.
coins. How do you get those new coins to be valuable?
Right.
But by not letting anyone ever stop the trading, by having the same tickers,
Yeah.
and by giving
Free.
people a reason to back the value of the things
Yeah.
they got free,
Right.
by rewarding them with a yield farming token. It's like a giant vampire tag, basically. It's a giant vampire tag. It's
Yep.
absolutely beautiful.
So do you see anybody coming after Pulse or anything like that? Because it's like you copied my thing, or but it's their.
They're the only one that gets it. It's it got copied, and then you're the only one that keeps to it.
Okay.
So
yeah,
enjoy your free money.
Right.
You know what I mean? It'd be like someone copied your Honda sports car and just put it in your front yard.
Yeah,
you're like,
dude,
I hate this. I hate this free Honda.
You don't give me one of those.
Get rid of this. But it doesn't even take up space. You know what I mean? It's
Right,
like in
yeah.
a bag, a virtual bag from like role-playing gaming. It just holds a lot of swords. How many
Sure.
swords can I carry on this guy? 50 swords. Awesome.
So
He's a strong guy.
So do you expect Pulse for the long term? What do you like?
I want to like take all of Ethereum's users to help Ethereum
Right.
fees.
But do you see the fees go?
We're going to help Ethereum's fees go
By
down so
taking them.
much by taking their users.
I'll just take them off.
Yeah. I mean,
So-
do you want to pay 300 for Uniswap, or do you want to pay like 50 cents?
Right. And like that's the thing is like in 10 years, are we going to run into the same problem?
Yes.
Like Ethereum.
Yes.
So
you
get
are.
it. So you wait like
And you're
get
going
it
to
now
get rich the
because
whole way. So.
you're right. Yeah, because they want
Ooh, the fees are high, and I'm a bazillionaire.
to
No.
be right. Yeah.
Like-
So there's the best time.
No, then by then layer 2 rollups should be better. Like ZK rollup should be better by then.
Yeah.
Optimistic should be better by
Sure.
then. And if not, just have another fork. We'll just keep building capacity. It's like, you go to Denny's, it's full. They build another Denny's.
Right.
This is standard. You horizontal 1 to 2 scaling is standard, and it's what you should do when you run out.
Right.
There's no way they use a bidding market to solve too little capacity and too many users. You either got to kill the users or add capacity. That's
Right.
it.
Right.
And Ethereum's not adding capacity.
Right.
So I'm doing it. Smart.
I mean, it's the $300,000 fees that it takes to unstake or even to transact on Uniswap. I mean, that's just killing it.
It's usually 300
killing
bucks,
anything on
200,
Ethereum.
300 bucks to swap on Uni.
Yeah.
When I
can't
look
even-
at it.
I can't even imagine some of these NFTs that they're because I've seen them where they're $16,000 to mint an NFT
Yep.
where it's like
Or games like Decentraland, you just
Yeah,
literally
yeah.
can't
You
play the
can't.
game. The
Yeah,
game is not
right.
playable. And
Right.
so many other projects, you just can't use those. So all those tokens where their functionality has been broken, they'll be able to operate on Pulse chain again, and their keys already work.
Mhm.
And then if the front end devs want to, point the front end with little drop down box that says which network do you want to be on? You want to be on Pulse? Drop down box, boom, you're on Pulse. Well, then the game works.
right.
But if you don't want to do that, that's fine. We got your ticker, and it's going to trade over here.
Yeah, it's
and it's going to be more
anyway.
affordable to trade. And if they're bonded by liquidity, the price is going to move the same.
Bridge it over
So,
to- yeah,
that's fine. You don't want to build a front end? That's
Right.
okay.
and your game can just be dead.
Like your game can stay dead, and we're just going to take your speculative use case over here.
Right.
And then why would I think for tokens like that are just speculative, why wouldn't the Pulse one be more valuable?
right.
If
Yeah.
it's cheaper
Yeah,
to
it
trade
doesn't-
over here,
yeah.
like, and you're the only one that got it. It's not like there was dilution.
Right.
Like only the people that had the original coin got their copy. I think. So I really think that this Pulse swap yield farm and liquidity thing backing all the value of the PRC20s by the bridged and ERC20s
Yeah.
is the kill shot.
It really-
That's the
yeah, it
most
is.
important part of
It
this.
is.
And the ability to on-ramp users by just changing one setting.
Yeah. So what
Those
do
two
you,
things.
what do you think for when you onboard a new user into Pulse, you're going to have to buy Ethereum though first, right?
It depends. It depends. It really depends. I think Pulse is going to open a lot of gates that aren't open right now
Okay.
because people want their free money. So
Right.
originally,
True.
when you give a Bitcoin guy free money, they don't like it. But when you give an Ethereum guy free money, they do like it.
That's true.
It's like,
Yeah, that is
it's like
true.
so if For instance, if you use Dharma.io to buy Hex, you can buy it on Ethereum, or you can buy it the encapsulated one on the layer 2 Polygon,
right?
Which used to be called Matic.
Right.
So you've got Dharma to Matic integration already. Pulse Chain comes up. Maybe those Dharma guys point directly. I mean, I know the founder messaged me.
Okay.
You know, maybe they directly integrate with Pulse, and then you could on-ramp people with wire and credit card directly into Pulse without doing anything on Ethereum or doing anything with bridges.
Dang. Okay.
And then also everybody already has value on the Pulse network because they had value on the Ethereum network.
Right.
And so any of those guys that had those coins might want to on-ramp you, right? Like direct, like peer-to-peer kind of thing. And then you've also got all the bridges. And then, you know, you only really need one big kind of market maker to use the bridge to equalize the prices. And then you can just kind of live on the side, you know? So you can bridge in with Ethereum. You could, when direct listings appear, you could just go in direct, like Dharma did for Matic. But yeah, probably the bridges will be popular, probably. But you'd have to pay fees to use them.
Yeah, and
and there is admin key risk, so they're going to have admin keys because we haven't figured out how to do it without it.
I love how people love to come and attack us at that point.
Well, I hate admin keys. It's gross, but guys, like there is no admin keyless trustless bridge.
So did you find out how it's not Changelly? Who is the one that you're Atomic Swaps?
It just doesn't work.
Okay.
Because I mean, here's basically how it goes. Here's how a bridge works. You deposit your ETH into the bridge contract on the ETH network. And then the normal real world bot has to go, hey, something happened on this chain. Now I have to go do something on this other chain.
Right.
And so it has the keys to then issue coins over here at a 1-to-1 ratio. So you locked up an ETH on the ETH chain. Well, now we're going to issue an ETH on the Pulse chain.
Okay. Right.
And then you use it, and you're like, hey, I want to bridge back over. Okay, well then some admin key bot has to go, oh, this guy wants to get rid of his. Right. And then it burns this, or you burn it, and then it recognizes you burn it. And it says, now I have to tell that other chain that you burnt it. And so if you don't have an admin key and you just let anyone do it, then they'll just lie. They'll be like, hey, that guy burnt that. And
so you're almost required to have one. Like you have.
Unfortunately.
Okay.
Now people are trying to figure it out, and we'll try and figure it out.
Right.
But so far, if you want to get to market now, you need to have that admin key risk. Because a bot needs to say, hey, this guy locked, submit this. Okay, this guy wants out, destroy it, and then release it.
Yeah.
And that bot just does that cross-chain communication.
Okay.
They can try and federate it, but still, you're just spreading the risk.
Yeah.
You're spreading the risk, but still, like, there's something like an admin key, right?
Yeah.
There's just no way around it.
Yeah.
Yet. But when there is, we'll switch to it. There's no benefit.
Yeah, right.
You're like, because I think all you can do is just lock everybody's money. I don't think you can even steal it. So, hey, you can just screw everyone, but you're not going to
Could you put a time lock on it? Is that what it's probably? Because
some people put time locks on there, but
it doesn't really matter, right? It's like,
well, no, those are just dumb. I think so. Time locks are for if you have an extra admin key that allows you to edit the contract, which would probably let you also steal money. Because you can edit the contract. You can say, hey, I'm changing the contract to let the admin key steal the money. So you can get rid of that admin key.
Yeah.
Like I don't think that's a good admin key to have. Yeah. So you just have the minimum admin key that lets you do that communication stuff, but you don't have an extra admin key that says also let me steal all the money.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess
and which a lot of things have that. They have the extra admin key that's like let me steal all the money. But on a time lock. Like I'm gonna steal your money in 24 hours. I hope you're watching the chain. You know.
Hurry up.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, how did you when did you start watching the Hexo streams?
Oh, day one.
Day one.
I think. I can't remember actually. But I used to watch you every single night.
Okay. I remember you coming in there all the time.
Constantly.
Yeah.
Constantly. Because every night it was like a new what's the AA gonna do?
It was
which I think is actually pretty sticky. Good idea.
It was fun. I know it was right at the time that it was ending, and it was very
it was
a great time. It was like the first year was like, I mean, you know, we're always having fun. But the first year there was so much
dips. We had,
yeah.
bro. I mean, if you go into chat and type !dip, you're gonna get like a copy paste right from the website. Hex has dipped 86%, 75%, 60%, 60%, 50%, 45%. You're just like, dips are in the game. It's always done this.
Yeah.
And you have to prepare. That's why when I draw the chart for people, I highlight every single dip. I could draw them the other way.
Yeah.
I could show the pumps right after the dips, but I don't. I show 1,000,000% pump and 10 dips.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, guys. And where do you think all these riches are coming from? It's coming from a couple places. People delaying gratification, locking up millions of dollars, letting everyone else be rich now, and they'll be rich later.
Yep.
And the dum-dums that are buying tops and selling bottoms.
Yep.
Where do you think your money went, dum-dums?
Yep.
It went to the patient guys.
Yep. The guys that stake.
They
That's
waited.
all you had to do is stake, and that's not unstake. I mean, it's easy. It's easy. All you gotta do is sit there. You don't even have to look at any of the streams.
Right.
You don't have to look at any of the charts. You just sit there until it is due.
Yeah.
And a year, 2 years, and then it's like, oh, okay. And when hasn't it? I think it's been like profitable every quarter. Well, maybe not. I don't know about this last quarter.
Well, it depends on how you measure them. But like, who cares about quarters?
Right. Well, if you're staking for 3 months,
you look at it like this: you go up 1,000,000%, you dip 60%. Okay, you're up 300,000%.
Right.
Okay, you're up 300,000%.
Right.
You're like people talk trash. You're like, oh, you're down 70%. You're like, yeah. Where are we at from a year ago?
No.
Up 50x.
Or they'll show the linear chart.
Yeah,
look at this. You're down.
Right.
It's like that little tiny line right there.
Right.
That's actually pretty big.
So your chart makes it look like I lost money, but I'm up 50x from last year. So maybe your chart's wrong. Like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
you need to click log. If you don't click log, you're very stupid.
Yeah, well, especially with a chart like that. I mean, if you're
I haven't explained this. I'm like, if you don't click log, you just lose all the resolution here.
Right.
You can't reason about the space.
Yeah.
Because
you
3x pumps and 80% dumps just look like a flat line. How is that useful?
Yeah.
You just destroyed all of the value of this side of the chart.
Right.
And then how are you going to trade vertical line up and down? Where's your trading?
Yeah.
How do you trade that? You click log. Like, you have to.
It's very funny.
They even figured this out on CNBC. Like, I believe they even use log charts there. Like, please. So dumb.
Yeah. So I was. I mean, that was like I said, the first year was amazing. I mean, the whole time I streamed for the.
Do you remember when the Godwill doubled the price in a candle?
Yes.
I was like, how? God, didn't even retrace. I'm like, there's no retrace.
That was amazing.
There's no dip. It just keeps going. Like, what is this?
That was pretty crazy when that happened that day. It was, I mean,
and then
100% in one day.
And then that guy's actually on Twitter now. And you're like,
oh yeah, I know.
And he gave the film dudes like 400,000. He gave him like 100 ETH.
Or 100 ETH. That's right.
And like, thank you.
Yeah.
Because I haven't given the film crew a dime. I'm not giving them nothing. I've given the film crew nothing. I show up and say hi.
That's good enough.
But like,
yeah.
The community is so cool.
It is really cool. I mean, the documentary is amazing. They
do good work.
Yeah, they're really
the
good.
content looks good.
Yeah.
Maybe this will be in there.
Yeah.
Hi everyone.
The trailer that you have. It's a pretty good trailer. I showed my family and everything.
Yeah. I won't post anything on my Insta because it would kick the trailer lower.
Okay.
So now I'm just crippled. Like, I can't. No matter.
I've seen you did the stories.
Right, because those go away.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not kicking my Insta content down. Right. So yeah.
You're gonna have to repost it every couple of days.
Eventually. Like, maybe once the actual, I don't know, maybe once we have a date for like the real thing coming out, like the real like finished thing.
Okay.
Then I could have a burst of like, oh look, I've been queuing all these things I wanted to
post. Yeah.
And then end it with like, oh, by the way, check out the real thing.
You should be like a Richard Heart travels.
I'm so tired of traveling, dude.
Yeah,
I do not want to travel anymore.
Yeah, I'm with you, and I don't travel as much as you. I don't know how you did. How long were you gone? Like
4 months.
4 months.
Yeah.
And you're always driving in hotels.
Yeah, and then your time gets sucked up, man. Like, it was 80 hours of driving in the car, 6,000 kilometers in the Ferrari, And then
is that like a lot? I don't. Is that
80
what
hours
is
of
that, like
driving? Is
3,000
like
miles?
two full work weeks of 8-hour days of driving.
So how
out of
many is
your-
6,000
Well,
kilometers?
it's
in freedom miles.
4,000 miles.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it doesn't sound like much, but
No,
I
that's
tried it for 4
yeah.
months.
No, just sitting and probably not a
You're
very.
like a
Is it
partial
comfortable?
trucker. Yeah, the car's
Oh,
so
yeah,
comfortable.
okay. I was gonna say it's a
drives like
sports car,
dream.
so I didn't know if it was.
Drives nice, man.
Yeah.
No worries about that. It's got magnetic suspension, so it just eats bumps pretty good. You know, even though it's got low profile tires on it.
Yeah, it's
No, I didn't get pulled. I got pulled over once
Oh, okay.
for we haven't seen a Ferrari here in November.
They
It's
said
weird.
that?
Yeah,
That's
he
why
just
they-
literally pulled me over for no reason. I'm like,
Where'd you get pulled over at?
let me see if I can tell you. Let me
Oh,
think.
yeah, if you, I don't know if.
I'm not sure I can tell you.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's fine.
It's
Fair enough.
yeah. So it was weird because I prefer to get pulled over for breaking the law instead of like I thought I was driving perfect. He's like, you were. I'm like, okay, that's weird.
Why are you?
Why are you having me blow this breathalyzer in the morning? Like, you think it's like 10 a.m. and I'm wasted or something? Like, even though I was driving perfect, I think you just want to see the Ferrari, man. Let's be serious.
Probably. I mean, it is a cool car. I saw one driving the red one driving around here, and I was like, oh, that is pretty awesome. So why
So
the
it's like
Ferrari
yellow
and not
one, yeah.
Lamborghini? Or
rear
any-
seats.
Just
Well,
the rear
actually,
seats.
like just it was there, and we needed to buy it something for content, right? And I got a deal on it. It was like the
Okay.
show, the floor model, so I paid
Right.
280,000 euros for it, which is like I don't know, 20% more for dollars, so like 310, 315,
Okay.
something like that. And then it's the most beautiful Ferrari, in my opinion, that you can buy today, and it's also the only one you can put people in the back, which is a deal breaker for me. If I can't put girls in the back, it's trash.
So what's your dream car? Like if you for a furry, somebody just drops it off at your doorstep.
I mean, dream car. My cheap brain is thinking, what's the most expensive answer car I can give?
Yeah.
I like
Koenig or whatever they're called. Koenig.
I'll take a McLaren F1 or I mean, there's more expensive cars than the F1. There's some Ferraris. There was like only a couple models of. I don't know, man. Like, I think the Bugatti Bolide looks really killer for a one-seater car. I think.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, I guess the Gordon Murray T50 is going to be cool. He designed the F1.
Gordon, I don't even know who that
He
is.
designed the F1.
Oh, okay.
McLaren F1. And now he
Oh,
also
okay.
designed his own like improved version of it. That should be cool. I think it's like $2 or $3 million.
Jeez.
I think it's like 2.5 million pounds, like 3 million USD, I think. And then, I mean, I don't know. I guess a Phantom would be cool.
That would be cool.
I'd go with a Phantom, maybe.
Have you ever driven in one?
Yeah. Well, I'm in Cullinan. I drove and rode in Cullinan. Haven't done the Phantom one yet.
Yeah.
But I have the money where I could just buy one of every car to just like.
Just one of everything?
Yeah.
Just see what you like the best.
But I don't want to travel anymore.
True.
So like.
Yeah, I hate driving and dude, we rented a car while we're here in England.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was on the left side, and then they got reverse all the way over here. It's like these people are insane, dude.
Left hand's useless. You're like, oh, I don't know how to do anything with this.
And then it's like, they got the pedals the same way, but I'm over here, and then your whole So is the Ferrari on the right or left side?
It's left-hand drive.
Oh, okay.
Normal.
It's normal. Yeah.
So it wouldn't be good here. So
Right,
part of
yeah.
the reason I bring it here is because one,
I think it would just driving on these streets.
You
The
can't
streets
even-
are crazy.
you can't get respect in a car here because everyone has one.
True,
I've seen like
yeah.
50 Rolls Royces walking here. And there's just endless. Like you've never seen so many Bentleys and
Right. Yeah.
and Rolls Royces in your life.
I've seen like 10 Lamborghini SUVs.
Yep.
They're all over.
If you had a cool car here, you're not even cool. I don't think.
Yeah,
Like you're
you have
just
to have
like,
something
everyone
really
else has
cool.
one. I did see a Lamborghini Countach. I'm
That's
like,
pretty awesome.
I'd never seen one in person.
The
I was like, this
Countach.
thing looks awesome.
Yeah. They're like
It looks so cool.
they look like the Hot Wheels cars. 'Cause
Yeah,
they're so low to the ground.
Exactly. And the wing in the back literally performs no function.
Oh,
It does
really?
not provide any downforce whatsoever.
Really?
It's just for
Just for
looks.
fun?
It just goes straight. It doesn't. There's no like it looks awesome.
Yeah,
you know?
I love the Diablo is my favorite here.
Diablo looks awesome.
Never
Testarossa
seen
looks
one.
good. There's a lot of from that era.
Did you like driving the F1?
355 Ferrari looks good.
The
F1 car?
the little the race car.
The F1. I was trying to drive it reasonably because I have so much to live for. And you know, when you talk to the guy that like runs it, you're like, well, how fast can I take this turn? He's like, as fast as you have courage. And you're like, well, and then you get in there, and when you're shifting, it's banging your head back.
Really?
Yeah,
It's like that.
Oh, you're talking like, I think it's like 750 horsepower in a car that weighs nothing.
Right. Yeah, like 1,000 pounds or 1,300 pounds.
And then you're always at the limit of traction. Always. If you come out of a corner and you hit the gas a little too hard,
You're spinning.
If
Is it scary when you start
if you
spinning?
brake
or is
late
it like,
into a corner, it's not that bad.
it's kind of like
Unless you're near a wall. If you're near a wall,
Yeah.
I'd be terrified. I had that actually.
really?
Yeah, because when you spin next to a wall, you have to stand on the brake, or you'll just after you're done spinning, you'll drift back into the wall.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
So like you'll finish your spin and then you'll just drift and keep hitting the wall. So you have to stand like it's weird when you.
Hold on. Hey guys, I had to cut him off. He's bragging too much. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Happy April Fools. That was a trick. Ha ha ha. I fooled you. It was supposed to be a little more informative than him bragging about his Bentleys, his Ferraris, his girls in the back seat. First of all, if you got a Ferrari and it does have a back seat, you got to have some short little women in there, because even a back seat ain't going to have room for anybody to sit in a Ferrari. I don't care what Ferrari it is. So anyway, crypto. Check this out. Just about 24 hours ago, maybe 36 hours ago, all the YouTube content creators, the big crypto know-it-alls, were talking about coming out of your trade, making a trade on Ethereum, especially in Bitcoin. And Crypto Granny had the notion, stood in the game, and it pumped right back up. Someone was new in crypto and they listened to these people on YouTube and didn't do their own research. They probably got shaken out and got wrecked. And it will cost them money to jump back in, or they're going to jump back in minus whatever they lost. And it's not good to just listen to what people tell you to do. You need to understand what you're doing when you're buying crypto. Now, you don't need to worry when you're buying at the very, very, very bottom, because
You actually got a live going on right now.
that's what I was watching.
No, we're watching all of them.
Don't need to worry when you're buying. That's me. So anyway, excuse the interruptions. As I was saying, what was I saying? The Richard Heart was bragging. And he just keeps bragging. He got his Ferrari, his watches, his this, his that. That's Richard Heart, everybody. And the truth is, he's a very smart guy. He's always by himself, probably because he's always bragging. He probably hugs himself and kisses himself. Nothing wrong with self-love. But bragging and bragging and bragging, listen. We're in the crypto space to make a future that's financially secure for our families. I know for sure it's not about doing this so we can brag. I'm here to educate. And there's so many different personalities in crypto. It's kind of deceiving what you're hearing from people. A lot of people will tell you to get into tokens that are not worthy. And one good thing Richard said during that stream was his token, his project is HEX, HEX. And the people who invest in HEX, they build a little group and an army. Once you're into crypto, you understand. They have Discord, and it's like a big family, all the investors. They call themselves Hexicans. They have a project called Post-Chain, Post-X, and Post-Swap, is eventually where you're going to do an exchange. But he mentioned there are so many coins out there now with the name Hex something, Hex this, Hex that, just like with the Dogecoin. Elon Musk spoke of a Shiba Inu dog, which that's what the Doge is. It's a Shiba Inu, a Japanese dog. Next thing you know, you got a Shiba Inu coin.
Today, for the big.
Then you have this coin, that coin. So be careful. If you're buying Ethereum, there's a bunch of different Ethereums. There's only one Ethereum. So you have to know what you're buying, where you're buying it from. That's the most important thing. There's XRP, XRP Ripple. That is the XRP that I'm always talking about. There's 100 other XRP, 1, 2, 3, XRPR. There's all different. People just make a crypto because they know what's trending. Like Cardano's a big coin, XRP is a big coin, Solana's a big coin, Polkadot, and they basically substitute all of these. Anyway, you all have a good night. God bless. Take care.